So a quick video to follow up on the last one. So I just wanted to have a quick chat about my job as a developer. It's been around a little under 2 months now, and I just wanted to touch on some of the lessons that I've learned. Even though I haven't been on the job for very long, I just wanted to impart some of the things that I've picked up for those of you guys who are looking to get into the field. So I would say the first lesson is when it comes to preparing for a job, it's not so much about writing code. I would say being able to read code is far more important. Being able to read code and understand context. So, especially as a junior developer, you're not going to be making big changes to the existing code base. You're just not. You don't have really the trust yet of the seniors to make such big changes. So you're going to have to start small. My first 3 to 5 pull requests, I think were only maybe somewhere between 1 to 3 lines of code. That's it. So you're going to be making really small changes to the code base. So it's far more important to be able to read a huge code base, because the code bases are huge. Understand quickly what's going on so you can, as quickly as possible, start making contributions. So write your code. If you're putting in applications, do your projects. Practice your skills, hone your craft and everything. But one thing you should definitely do as you are preparing to enter the field is contribute to open source code on GitHub. So find big code bases on GitHub, read them, try your best to understand what's going on in the code base, and then try to make small contributions, because that's what you're going to be doing on the job. You're not going to be writing much code really. A lot of it's just, most of your time it's going to be spent reading the code and trying to figure out what's going on. Especially when you're trying to debug a certain issue, you're going to have to spend a lot of time reading to figure out where the problem is. And then as you actually write the code, you're only going to be making incremental changes. Now, obviously with time and as you gain more confidence from your team, you'll be able to make bigger contributions. But that's the first thing, is get good at reading code, understanding context, because you can have the best AI agents, alongside you, but if you as the prompter don't fully understand what's going on, the agents are not going to be really able to help you. So that's the first thing. The second thing to understand, I would say, would be to accept that being clueless is kind of the default. Especially as a new dev, not knowing what you're doing is just the default. That's just how it is. And honestly, even for senior developers, I've had a friend who's been a developer for forever, and he says that he's just confused on a higher level. So understand that being confused is a part of the job, and you're constantly having to deal with that imposter syndrome of that feeling of, I don't know what I'm doing, but still incrementally tackling the problem anyways. So initially, I think it took a little bit of a hit on my self-esteem, holy shit, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel overwhelmed, but just accept that that's just how it is, and it's probably how it's always going to be, even as you accumulate more experience, and just little by little just try to accomplish the tasks that are given to you. So that's the second thing. And from there, I just wanted to go over what the job entails. So we start off with a stand-up meeting, and that's pretty much where everybody just tells the team what they're working on that day. So you tell everybody what you're working on. These stand-up meetings don't take any longer than 15 minutes. And then from there, it's really just all on you. There's very little supervision, at least where I work. Very little supervision. You look at the work items that need to be done, and you just pick something and start working on it. And that's pretty much the whole day. It's just finding work items, finding bugs, tickets to work on, and then just working on them, just trying to figure them out. Once you figure something out, you send a pull request up, and the senior developer approves it or tells you to fix something, and you fix it, push it back up, and it'll get approved in the code base. So right now, what my team is doing is that we have a old web application that's currently being used, and users will put in tickets for it, and then we'll address the tickets. And at the same time, we're working on a newer version of that same web application that's going to replace the old one. And we're going to launch that in September. But that's currently what my team's working on, is maintaining and addressing tickets on the current web application while at the same time developing the newer one. And as we're developing the newer one, like once or twice a week, we'll have meetings with the OPIs, is what we call them, is Office of Primary Interest. These are the people that kind of represent the users, and they tell us like what needs fixing, and just try to tell us what their needs are so we could best address them. So meetings with non-technical stakeholders are fairly common. And then the last little task that I do is what's called a data request. So a data request is where users will put in a request that they need data that's publicly accessible and they want it in an Excel sheet. And what we have to do is we have to write a bunch of SQL queries to get the data that they want from our databases, convert that to an Excel sheet, and then give it to the client. And the client will tell us if it's good or not. And if it's not, we make adjust the SQL query. But if it is good, then we just leave it at that. So that's another task that we do. But that's pretty much the day-to-day, is addressing tickets, and addressing tickets are put in by the users, and then work items are put in by us as the developers as we're working on stuff and finding issues ourselves. So finding tickets and work items to address, and then just addressing them, putting in pull requests for it. But that's pretty much it. I would say those are the two biggest lessons, is to get really, really good at reading big code, excuse me, at reading large code bases and being able to understand what's going on so you can contribute to them quickly. And then just understand that being clueless is the default. I think a bonus tip I would put in there is like, try not to compare yourself with other people, because as a junior developer, of course everybody's gonna know more than you, but try not to be too hard on yourself, and just try your absolute best to be an asset to the team. You're not gonna be able to contribute much because obviously you're still so new, you still have a long way to go to be a key player, but just try your absolute best, be super proactive, find things to do, even if it's something as simple as like some logging, an exception block, or putting in null checks. Just anything you can do to be an asset. Constantly be proactive, constantly search for ways you can contribute to the code base, even if they're not, big changes. I'd say the first 6 months, you're not there to try to improve things. You're there to learn, you're there to gain that experience, be very humble, and with time, you'll be able to make bigger and bigger, more significant changes. But in the meantime, just embrace the process, do the best you can, contribute where you can, and just trust the process. But that's what I would say is what I have learned so far in the short time that I've been working as a developer, as well as my current duties as a developer. And also too, like in your off work, always continue to learn new things. Always try your best to continuously be a more and more valuable asset to your team. But that's all I got. Really looking forward to any questions you guys have and answering them. But thanks for watching.